Hey there! Would you believe me if I told you that this is maybe 2% of the books, maybe 5% of the books that I own? Stay tuned. More KonMari. Hi, and welcome back to Keeping Your Heart, the place where we explore practices that help us to keep our hearts open and engaged as we walk alongside others. My name is Renee. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Either way, if you haven't already subscribed, I invite you to subscribe by pressing that little button down below and the little bell that will help you be notified when I have new videos that go up. I don't even know what a video would be. Anyway, hey, we're in the middle of this KonMari journey, which has been super interesting. So if you've seen the clothing video, you know it's been a really interesting journey so far, and eye-opening, and not to overstate it, but pretty much a game changer. So we're super excited to continue that, and as you saw at the beginning of this video, books is next. So the order of things is clothing, then books, then papers, and then this section of things called komono, which is kitchen, bathrooms, something else, and garage, and miscellaneous before you get to the sentimental things. So we are on step 2, and that is books. And so you saw a little bit of the books that are in my bedroom, and here's some books that are behind me. I didn't know how much clothes I had. I'm pretty aware of how many books I have, and it's gonna be a little bit scary. So if you want to keep watching and see us pare down and get rid of some books, I'm actually super excited about this. I'm ready to get rid of books. They take up so much space, and I love them, but they take up so much space, and I'm ready to be free of that. So stay tuned and watch this. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to take over the front room. This is, yeah, there's an awful lot, and there's more coming in. This will be fun. So as you can see, there are an awful lot of books that we have uncovered and unpacked. Each of those stacks is between 10 and 20 high. All kinds of different genres and types of books. So the next thing that we did is to collect them into different types of books. And after separating them into different categories and deciding which we were going to keep in the different categories, then we placed them in the places that they needed to be in the house, and this is all that was left over. So there's a stack of things to read and a stack of things that we will eventually pass on, but these were the only things that we needed to put back into a box for the time being, which was pretty exciting for us. I think what's important to know is that the only books that we had on shelves were the 2 sections I showed you at the beginning of this video. So everything else was in storage or in piles, and so now this is all that we have to sort out, and it's amazing. Okay, so these are the books that I kept that have to do with my grad work, which I'm still doing all the stuff that I went to school for seminary. So this is the biggest collection of books that we kept, and I went through and got rid of the ones that I knew were not in areas of ministry that I was going to be in for now, knowing that if I needed to get them later, I could, but I went and shared them with other people. So some fantastic books here. So these are this is my personal shelving unit in the bedroom. Okay. Casey's collection of books that he is reading and some of his journals. So the cookbooks were spread into 2 places. This is the one shelf that they have in the kitchen, and these are the ones that we would use the most often in here. These are some less used but still good cookbooks. We actually have a couple of historical cookbooks that my mother got for me from Gourmet Magazine, which was my favorite magazine for years, and some other ones that are kind of tucked away here, but we know where to reach them. One shelf of parenting books that we use when we're teaching our classes, as well as a couple of hymnals and common prayer books, because it's right by the piano. Area for my crafting books, so those are quilting books, and then some sewing, then some artistry, and then knitting books, some instructional material. And then this is also in my office along with the crafting books. These are texts that I am using to work on a couple of books and articles, as well as some yoga information here for when I'm teaching yoga. I need to refer to some material. So, oh, isn't that lovely? I was dusting. Yeah. So up here, these are just all texts that I am using, and some stationery, and up here some calligraphy books. So that is still all sort of reference material, right? So now you're asking yourself, but where's the fun books? The fiction nightstand, the bottom half of my nightstand by my bed. And you can see there's a stack here. So these are books that are generally going to read one time and then give away or sell at half-price books. But that's it for. So now you're asking yourself, what about the rest of the books? So I am not obviously following the whole you should have maybe 30 books part of the idea of books. Many of us reference material, they're very dear to us. We did get rid of probably about 300 to 350 books. It was a lot, but I think part of that was because we came to the realization that books that we had held onto that we thought maybe our kids would enjoy or that we could share that with them, that at this point that's not where they're at. And they, because of developmental things, is, you know, all of us who have kids from hard places, part of the process is grieving the loss of the expectations that we like letting those go, those expectations, and coming to acceptance for where we are right now. And part of that is saying, okay, I this may not be something that we can share right now, but it also does not need to take up space in 15 boxes in my garage so that I don't have space for a workbench or all kinds of things that we have plans for. So we did take a lot of the books to a place called Savers, and it's like a Goodwill type place. And then we found a local place that's called Half Price Books that we were able to sell some of the more high-end books at too. And then there are 2 clear boxes of books that don't have a home because they're generally books that either we do know that at some point our kids will be interested in, like we can tell that that's what it is, it's just not quite there yet developmentally, they're not going to understand it. And then there is the selection of books that I just want to read one more time before I give them away to someone else who will love them as much as I will. So it has been very freeing. The books in the garage has really taken up a lot of the room that we need in order to organize and get that ready for all the dreams that we have for that. We have some great dreams of putting in a wood shop in the garage and having access very quickly to holiday decorations and luggage and other things like that. And so now we have that space and we're starting to feel the effects of that. It's also been wonderful going through the books and realizing, oh yes, I was writing this and I needed this text and I didn't have it, so I stopped on that article or I stopped on that chapter of the book or whatever that happened to be. And so going through the books, there really was this really great moment of joy of remembering maybe even the time or the class or how it lit me up, or just stopping and realizing, oh, there's a truth in here that I have forgotten for a while. So that has been a fantastic part of it too. So I know people land different ways on the not disposal, but the reduction, the releasing of books into the wild. So I'd love to hear your comments below, even if you disagree with this strongly, and that's okay. This has been a really great process for us, and I think it's preparing us pretty well for the next scary step, which is what I've called for 20 years, the paper monster. The paper monster is horrible in our house, so I'm actually looking forward to that next step. So thank you so much for joining us and continuing on this journey. If you haven't had a chance to check out the clothing video, you can look at that right there. If you're interested in bullet journaling and other self-care practices, you can look over here. And as always, you can click on the little circle to be subscribed for the next videos that show up. So thanks for joining me. Hope to see you next time, and don't forget to keep your heart. Okay, bye.